All right, good evening, everyone. Yeah, well, in Brazil it's almost evening. It's 5 p.m. over there. Here is for me 9, for some of you 11. So we have three time zones. Oh yeah, in South Africa it's also 10. So we have four different time zones. Portugal is 1 hour behind. Oh, never mind. So we have so many time zones today. Anyhow, today you're here for Laura. Laura is Hungarian. Actually, I have never met her before. She's here because of my friend Thomas. He introduced me to her. And when I invited her to be part of this project program, let's call it, she said yes right away. I didn't hesitate and I booked her right away for January. So here she is. And you can introduce yourself because I don't have much more to say. All right. So welcome here and feel free to just share your story with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So my name is Laura. I'm 26 years old and I'm a PhD student right now. I'm pursuing a PhD in applied linguistics, most specifically English language teaching. I'm an English language teacher, and right now I work at university as an assistant lecturer. I'm employed by the Department of English Linguistics, of course, and I teach various courses um, on English as a language or on language teaching and language practice as well. Um, I I've lived here my whole life, and I don't know what else to say that much.
Okay,
Um,
that's great because then we can start with the questions. I'm gonna go ahead and ask the first question. So let's go. You're saying you lived your whole life in Hungary, of course, but during your studies, did you have the chance to go anywhere else just for a month or 6 months, a year to improve your English somehow? Did you have the
no,
chance?
not really. I mean, honestly, I got a very good foundation when I started university. Um, by the time I was a first year student, I had already been learning English for 11 years almost. So I didn't really need that. I did want to go and live abroad for a while, at least spend 1 semester. And I did apply. I was going to France, but then COVID hit, and everything just got out of hands. And of course, I couldn't go. And then by the time we went through and basically COVID was over, I didn't have any other chance to go abroad and pursue my studies there because I had to start the practical program of my university education, which means that when you're a teacher trainee, during your last 2 years of university, it basically takes 6 years to get your teacher's degree in Hungary. You have to teach in a high school periodically. So obviously, because my other major was Hungarian, I'm a Hungarian and English teacher. I couldn't do it abroad because, I had to teach Hungarian as well, not just English. So it unfortunately made it completely impossible for me. I do regret that a lot because, I have friends who actually managed to go abroad and they decided to do it long before I decided to take the plunge. And they have amazing stories about it and amazing experiences, but, it is what it is. Maybe one
Well, I,
day.
I can imagine that you think like, oh, maybe I missed the opportunity of the experience being with people from different countries or whatever. But when it
Yeah.
comes to your English, girl, you definitely go to a good university because English is really, really, really good. Yeah, even
Thank
the
you.
accents, I wouldn't place it in as Hungarian. It's just a little mixed, and you never left the country, so you're doing a great, great job. Amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm trying. I mean, oh my God, I used to want to have this very native like accent, and I struggled so much. I watched these videos of people speaking British English, and I tried to mimic them, but it just never worked out. And I was like, okay, let's just give this up. I don't mind. But yeah, actually, in Hungary, they don't teach pronunciation. So that's one of the reasons why many Hungarians have really strong accents, because, nobody really cares about this aspect.
All right, thank you. Let's go. Mariana, she's ready for a question.
Yeah. Hi, Laura. Nice to
Hi.
meet you. You said you are studying English in college, right?
Well, kind of. I'm a university lecturer, so I work at
Oh,
university as
yeah.
a teacher, and I'm also doing my PhD. So I'm in grad school, basically. This is my second year of PhD studies.
And is that in English?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then what made you choose that major? That, you know, sorry, I don't
Yeah,
really know what I'm talking about.
dissertation. Oh, because I've always been obsessed with languages. Actually, ever since I was a child, my favorite subject was always foreign language course. In Hungary, we have to study two languages from the time we start elementary school and we graduate high school. So you have a main language, which was English for me, and then in high school you have to choose another one, which was German for me. I don't speak German, but I tried my best. But I did learn French. So because I was so obsessed with languages and how interesting they were to me, I decided to become an English and Hungarian teacher. I was culturally invested, and also it was something I seem to have been naturally good at. I never had to put too much effort into learning a language. It was kind of easy for me. And also, because not anymore, but when I started university in 2017, the teacher training program was still at a phase when it lasted 6 years, and so through the 6 years I had the chance to realize what really interested me, and this was learning different learning strategies and trying to help other people learn how to teach, and basically teaching as it is. It became my passion through these 6 years, and it never changed. And this is why I decided to do my PhD in English and in applied linguistics. And basically, applied linguistics encompasses English language teaching as well. And my dissertation is focused on these different methodological aspects of teaching English as a foreign language.
Did she answer you, Mariana?
Yes, thank you.
All right, Leandro, welcome. It's been a
Thank
while.
you. It's a pleasure to be here again. Thank you so much. Okay, could you describe a typical Hungarian meal you enjoy at home?
A typical Hungarian what? I'm sorry, I couldn't.
A Hungarian meal. Can you hear me?
Not
Can you hear me?
really.
Meal, Hungarian meal.
Like which kind of foods do you
Yeah,
eat?
food.
You
Yeah.
know, like it's
Oh,
for
food.
dinner.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, meal.
a
Okay.
meal.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know. Yeah. God, it's so interesting. We have many traditional dishes, but I think the younger generation doesn't really follow these trends. We have like goulash soup. I'm sure you've already heard about that, and we also like fatty stuff actually. So Hungarian meals are always very heavy and hard to digest for foreigners because we use lots of spices, most certainly red pepper, and lots and lots of meat, most certainly pork and beef. I would say a traditional Hungarian meal that I like and prepare a lot, that would be goulash soup. Yes, it's basically a type of meat soup with paprika and lots of vegetables. So yeah.
Oh, paprika, right?
Yeah, we love that a
Oh, I
lot.
see. All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, when I was in Hungary last, yeah, I think it's been a month already since I'm back. I ate for the first time. That's what Richard just mentioned, langos, and I
Language.
loved it. I'm not that good with the computer, so I cannot share my screen. Is anybody here who knows how to use this? It's a. You're very good with Zoom, right? If I make a co-host, would you be able to share your screen with us? Let me see if I can do this. So you're a co-host now. Would you be able to share your screen with us? So we can see the pictures of the foods that they're talking about. Okay, let's see if she can manage. Because this langos, I loved it. And it's like a bread. Yeah, like a pizza, maybe pizza, bread, something like that. And it's fried and you can eat either sweet or salt. Oh, that was lovely. I love that. And there were other stuffs as well, like the one you put in on the oven. and they make like in a
Köztes
row.
kalács, chimney cake. You mean chimney cake?
Oh, those
I
was
think that's-
also delicious. And I think the Hungarian language is one of the most difficult ones because I didn't learn a single word. It was very difficult for me. So let me see. Are you going to be able to share it? Is it?
Me?
No, I'm asking, is it a Turkish girl who's here?
Ah, my sister,
Yes.
AJ.
Ah,
There's
sorry.
she's asking to you.
I was confused if you're talking about me or not.
Yeah, because
Uh,
I made you co-host because I was wondering if you could share your screen with us because you're used to work with Zoom. Can you do
Uh,
that?
What do you want me to share on the screen?
Yeah, so if you go on Google, for instance, and we can see the pictures of the foods that we're
Okay.
talking about.
Langos, for instance. You
Yes,
mean
for
langos?
instance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was Googling something else because I remember something called kolbas from
Kolbas?
Hungary. I think it's like a sausage. Now I'm
Yeah.
looking for langos. I will share right away.
Oh, thank you
Just
so
a
much.
second.
So let's see if anybody else besides Richard, who was married to a Hungarian before, he knows that. But the rest, Mariana, do you know anything about Hungary? Like when it comes to the food and everything?
Not
That looks
really,
yummy.
Oh,
actually.
yes, I love that. Oh, it was so delicious. So you see, you can have different toppings, and you can have that with Nutella, like sweets, or you can have it bacon, cheese, pork. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
But I think goulash is one of my favorite too.
Yes,
Goulash
and
is
then
really,
goulash.
really, really delicious.
Okay, can you share goulash then?
Let's try.
That is the one that Leandro was asking about.
Goulash soup.
Yeah.
So paprika, pimentão, né? Pimentão. That is the word in Portuguese for that.
But goulash is only soup, or is it another goulash which is not soup also? No?
Let's
In
Or is
ask.
it only
Hungary, it's a
soup?
soup actually. It's a traditional Hungarian soup, but I know that this dish exists in the United States as well, but they call something completely different to goulash than
Yeah.
what we do. So
Yeah.
they are not the same thing. Yeah, I think that the first picture is what the US
Yeah,
is
not so juicy. That's what I
This
know.
one.
We have a soup. Ours is a
Oh,
soup. Goulash is a
ah,
soup. Yeah,
okay.
Hungarian goulash soup.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry, which is not nice at in the middle of the night.
Okay, and then the last one, how do you call it, Laura? Shims?
Chimney cake. Chimney cake.
She is CHI?
Yeah.
Like this chimney cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
Yeah.
found it.
Chimney.
It's the first time I
Oh,
hear such a.
yes.
I've
So
seen
nice.
them.
It's so nice as well. And you can use it as a cone for ice cream. You see there on the left?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, you can buy it in Hungary during the summertime. It's delicious.
Yeah, I really like that as well.
Looks nice.
All right.
So.
Thank you so much for sharing the screen. Okay, Carlos is ready with a question. Hey, Carlos.
Hello, guys. I see Hungary in my computer. Budapest seems a very nice city. Beautiful historic buildings, the river, Danube River, and I know the population 9.6 million, and this area 93 square kilometers. It's not a big country because my state in Brazil we have 11 million population. Okay, and but I guess you are small, but you have a very nice culture because Brazil we have maybe 500 centuries of Western culture, but I guess Hungary more than 2,000 years. Okay, tell us something about the history or geography in Hungary, Laura. I know that you are a very good student in geography, history because you work in the university. You are a teacher? Okay, let us know. About something more. What to do in Budapest? Okay, what to do in what language do you speak?
In Budapest, Hungarian.
Oh, in Hungary.
We speak Hungarian, actually. It's quite hard to learn, as I've been told. I don't know. I do know that I have lots and lots of international friends who live in Hungary and they've been residing here for a while. And they tried to learn it and they couldn't. None of them succeeded in that matter. So I think it's very difficult for foreigners to learn. And about what to do in Budapest, oh my God, there are so many things to do here. As you said yourself, the buildings are beautiful. We have this old historic architecture in downtown in certain parts of the city. So it's like being transported to another era in history. And also, and nowadays we have lots and lots of bars, I know, and pubs and restaurants that are built on different thematics. For example, you have one for cats. If you want to, I don't know, cuddle with cats, then you can go to Cat Cafe, or you have Unicorn Cafe or Star Wars Cafe, or I just gave a few examples. So basically, there are lots of places to go and visit. We have numerous museums as well, and you can visit the parliament. We have a forest called Normafa, which is a small hill. I wouldn't say it's a mountain, it's more like a hill, honestly. And it's a very foresty green area where, you know, students and the Hungarians go when they want to have some fresh air, and sightseeing is awesome as well. So I actually love Budapest a lot. It's very, very, very expensive nowadays, and everything is very expensive, but I like living here.
Okay. And your money is the euro.
No, unfortunately not. We have our own currency. It's called Hungarian forint, and it's very weak, very, very weak. So this is why everything is getting more and more expensive. Inflation is horrible in Hungary. It's like torture. It really is. It would be better if we had euros, but you know.
Okay, Laura, thank you very much. My sister is called Laura too. Laura in Brazil is a popular name.
Here it's actually not that popular. I mean, when I was born, it was quite fashionable to call girls Laura. We say Laura as well in Hungarian, not Laura, but yeah. I'm used to Laura because everybody calls me that. But nowadays I see less and less Lauras for some reason. But there was a period when it was very popular as a name.
Okay, and your surname is Taichi. Laura,
Yeah.
Laura Taichi.
Yeah, it is. I know.
Okay.
That is a rare one, actually. So my surname is quite rare. It's specific to a region in Hungary called Jászság, where Jász people live. They originally came from Iran, but it was, you know, thousands of years ago. But they came from Iran, and then they settled down in this region. And Taiti is a name of these people traditionally. So we don't have a lot of Taitis. It's from a specific.
Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome to Brazil in the future. If you want, come to South Brazil. You are very welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. You got an invitation just like that. No.
Awesome.
Okay, Carlos, thanks. Mariana, she's back with the
Okay.
question.
Yes, so you pronounce it Laura, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can pronounce it however you want to.
Okay, I'll call you Laura because it's the same here in Portugal.
Okay.
I have two questions. One about the food. So I have a lot of family in Romania, and we have a dessert that it has origins in Hungary. It's called cozonac secuiesc. I don't know if you know what it is.
No, I'm sorry.
No,
Wow.
I'll write it here and someone can search it.
Well, how do you say that? Kosher kashawashi?
Cozonac
That
secuiesc.
was fast. That was
Yeah.
fast.
It's like a rolled up dough, like fried dough with sugar all over it.
Oh,
It's
I'm
good.
going to look it up on Google, I think, just in 1 second.
Okay, no, she's already sharing the screen. So
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay, all
sure.
right.
oh, that's the way we just saw it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's chimney cake.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I
just
couldn't
another
see it.
word.
Yeah,
Just
I'm sorry, I
another
couldn't
nowadays
see it.
in Hungary.
My Wi-Fi is very bad. Sorry.
Oh, they just have another name, but it's exactly the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't see it. My
So
Wi-Fi
you
is.
Is
think
it
that it's
Kozanak?
Romanian and not Hungarian?
It's
Mariana.
Hungarian. Yeah.
What? Sorry?
Mariana, can you repeat the name again, please?
Kozanak Sikuyesk.
Ah, yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah,
that one.
that is one. No, but I was wondering if Mariana learned from her family that this is a Romanian dish instead of Hungarian dish. That
did.
is my question.
I
So
did.
you did. And how about you, Laura? Do you
Well,
think it's
actually,
Hungarian
you
or?
know, Romania and Hungary, well, we are right next to each other because Romania used to be Hungary. And during the World War, unfortunately, they kind of cut our country into pieces. So we are surrounded by ourselves. Every single country around Hungary used to be Hungary. So the cultures mixed up quite a lot. This originates from Hungary, but because of the historical ties, you know, it was adapted in Romania as well.
Yeah, we
So
just call it a different thing. It's
yeah,
essentially the
yeah.
same.
It is
Yeah,
the
it
same
even
thing.
says, like, if you search it up, it says its roots are in Hungary, which makes sense. But then my second question was, you said you're a lecturer, so you have to speak with a lot of students, right?
Yeah.
And you also seem very, very young. So I would like to know how your relationship is with those students.
Oh, it's a tricky one. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm 26. So I am the youngest lecturer at the department right now. And I was very nervous when I went in for my first lesson. I had already been teaching at a high school for a year at that time. So I had some experience, but now with university students, and you know, university students are kind of almost my age. They vary from, I don't know, 18 to 24. And I was very nervous, and turns out that the younger ones, they respected me. They were very nice to me, and I've never had any kind of conflict with them. On the other hand, I do have to teach postgraduate students whose age is quite different. I think it's around 30 to 65, which was a challenge. I know, because, you know, they are already teachers in elementary schools and they want to become high school teachers. So they went for this postgraduate program. Yeah. And I was the teacher and I'm 26. They could be my parents, basically. So there was a little bit of a clash between us. Because they couldn't really accept the fact that I was so young. I would still say that in like 85% of the time, everything is fine and I don't have conflicts with students. I try to be professional with them, but I'm also very open-minded and welcoming to their problems or their opinions. So I'm not going to just treat them as inferior to me, and I'm trying to establish more like a colleague-like connection with them, and it's working at the university. So I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. And I wish you very luck with those older ones.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I will need that. I mean, thank God next semester I don't have to teach them, but during the past 3 semesters, because I've been teaching at the university for 2 years, so this is my 4th semester as a teacher. I did have to teach them, and it wasn't necessarily my most pleasant experience as a teacher.
Oh.
It's hard to teach people who are older than you because sometimes they tend to, you know, not take you seriously because of the age difference.
All right. Thank you, Mariana, for your questions. Isse. There she is. She has a question.
Thank you. I'd like to go on with the latest topic. It reminded me of the generations, which is a hot topic in social media in Turkey, I think. Do you observe any labeling or pros and cons about different generations since you are at university? For instance, in social media in Turkey, I see some jokes or criticism mainly on the latest generation, Generation Z. And before that, it was about the millennials or Generation Y, and maybe they have the same views about our generation, which is supposed to be X. I mean, I wonder if this is the same thing in other countries too. How about Hungary? What do you see?
I see a big difference as I mean, I am Gen Z, of course, so I associate myself with both millennials and Gen Z because I was born in 1999, which is barely Gen Z. So I kind of grew up like a millennial in a way, but I had the best of both worlds, let's just say that. I can see that the younger students are extremely reserved and very shy when it comes down to social interaction. So they are so extremely used to this online presence and not having to interact with people that they don't know how to deal with being called upon in class or having to work in pairs, which I do a lot. I mean, I'm a fan of collaborative learning. I've always been, and make them work together a lot. And it takes around a month or two to even make them feel quite at ease, to say the least, because they just don't know how to interact with each other anymore. And since COVID hit, I think it just exacerbated everything like horribly, because people are so just anxious, when they have to establish closer connections with each other. And I try to use different kinds of electric devices in class, like PPTs, or I even give them like online assignments and stuff like that to kind of loosen them up, but it's a marked difference between the first year students and the fourth year or fifth year students that I already teach. They are so much more kinder and warmer and more welcoming to each other than the first year students are. So I think it must be social media and COVID, of course. Like
more or less the same, I suppose, in every country, I think. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a very good question. Thank you. All right, Leander is back. He's on fire today. Let's hear him out.
All right. Laura, can you hear me well?
Yeah.
All right. I Googled here and came out some results here about thermal baths in Budapest.
Oh, yes.
Right. So tell me something about that. Right. Is it worth visiting that?
Actually, Hungary is famous of its thermal bath system because we have so many, and they are beautiful. They are historic buildings, and actually they're quite
Leslie, can you
pricey.
please share some pictures? Sorry.
Yes.
She's gonna share some pictures. You can go ahead, Laura, please. Sorry.
All right. So they are hot baths and they are amazing for your skin. They use it for different kinds of treatments as well. I am not an expert of medical fields, I'm going to admit that. But I do know that there are therapies and there are different kinds of rehabilitation programs in these facilities as well, because it's so good for your health. And you can find them not just in Budapest, but basically anywhere in Hungary, in almost every city. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but the point is that there are many, many thermal baths, and it's one of the highlights of Hungary, actually.
Right.
So if you're here, then please go and try one out, because it's going to be an amazing experience.
Okay, it's a thing that is a must do, right? When visiting
exactly.
Hungary.
It's
Oh,
a must
sure.
do. Yeah.
All right. So, and you could tell something about a chain bridge.
Oh, the chain bridge. Okay. It was renovated a few years ago because it was deemed to be dangerous for some reason. It's extremely old. It was designed by Széchenyi. And basically, it's a beautiful bridge that if you cross, you can get from Buda to Pest, or, vice versa, basically. And it's a very favored touristic highlight of the city because of the statues that are surrounding it, and also because of its unique style. It's one of the most famous bridges of Budapest, actually.
All right.
Okay, you're getting some pictures. I think it's also interesting, Laura, if you tell us that the bridges in Budapest, it's to connect the two parts of the city, because I don't think that they know. Can you please tell us more about that?
Yeah, so basically Budapest used to be two cities. So we had Buda as a city and we had Pest as a city. And then during the past few centuries, they basically combined them and then they made Budapest a thing. So yeah, it used to be two different areas and cities, and now we have the capital, which consists of both.
All right. Thank you, thank you. Heider is here, and he has a question. He was reading,
hello.
so I'm curious about his question because he
Hello,
read it
guys.
on.
Hello, Laura. Laura, I saw in Google Maps there is a small border between Hungary and Ukraine.
Yeah.
Has Hungary received refuge from war between Ukraine and Russia? Do you know something about that?
Okay, so when the war broke out, obviously we were very concerned, because, you know, it's our neighbor country. It used to be Hungary, a big part of it as well. And so we were scared that the war might spread to Hungary. And people were very divided whether they wanted the government to give some kind of a help to the Ukrainians or not. It wasn't really our call to decide what happened. Hungary helped them in a way. We are not sending back Ukrainian refugees. So if a man comes here and, you know, he doesn't want to partake in the war, we're not going to say that, okay, you can't stay here, you have to go back and fight. They are welcome, but we don't send weapons or military enforcement to Ukraine. The government used the war as some kind of propaganda for their campaign, again, because, you know, in my opinion, the most powerful thing to unite people is hatred and fear, and they can use it very, very well. And they did. And so basically everybody was scared in Hungary that, oh my God, we are at war, but we are not at war. Thank God that we are not at war. At least not yet, but for now we're safe. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Interesting question. But just to complement a little bit on that, Laura, do you have any Ukrainian students at all?
I do not, but where I live next to Keleti train station, which is around Városliget, which is the biggest park of the city. And this is an area which is full of Ukrainians now. So I could see a big increase in international habitants here. So yeah, I think that many of them came here, but they are mostly women and children. So it's rare to find men, even though we are not sending them back to their country to fight. If they come here, it's mostly women.
But do they have jobs?
I don't know. I haven't interacted with them. They usually keep to themselves and they don't really want to engage with the locals either. They always huddle together and speak Ukrainian or like, you know, Russian, and they just try to not draw any attention at themselves. This is what I have noticed. So I don't know. They probably have jobs, but honestly, I can't say anything on this matter.
Okay, thanks. Evan, you have a question.
Hi, Laura. Nice to meet you again. So you said that you studied German a little bit, right? In the beginning.
Yeah, I did.
I also studied German a little bit, and my nightmare was the dative and accusative.
Yeah, mine too. Oh my God.
Yes, that's what I was going
Yeah.
to ask you. That's why I gave up German. This is crazy, you know? It's crazy.
Yeah.
You have to memorize everything which it is der or die or das, you know?
Actually, yeah. Same. It was my nightmare too. And also
Yeah.
the teacher was not the best fit. She wasn't really a teacher by qualification. She was a translator, so she didn't really know how to convey knowledge in any way. She couldn't put the message across. Of course, it resulted in serious resistance from the students, and it just didn't work. I do remember dative and accusative, and I could never use it. I mean, I understand a lot of things in German, but I'm unable to speak the language.
Me too. When I go to Germany sometimes because of business, I understand what I hear, and after 10 days, I start to speak a little bit, but I don't know what I'm speaking about. Der, die, das, you know. I, this is crazy. But you said that you switched to French, right?
I do speak French, yes.
And is it easier or more difficult than German?
Well, it's so interesting because I had some serious motivation to learn French. I was in love with the culture. I was in love with the entire have you ever seen the musical called Romeo and Juliet? There's a
Yes.
musical based on the
Yes.
story, and it was originally French. And I watched it, and I just knew that I had to learn this language because it sounded amazing. So
Yeah.
I had some very strong drive to do this, and I am sure, I'm 100% sure that it helped. I think it's more difficult than German. The deeper you go in French, the more difficult it becomes. But I think I could have learned German if I had a better teacher, but because of the resistance, I just completely rejected the idea. French is easier in my opinion, but I know people who would argue with me because, you know,
Yeah.
the French pronunciation and writing is interesting.
And also, like, you are speaking English very good. And
Thank you.
sometimes when I go to some northern part of London, for example, the English is shocking. You know, I don't understand anything. If he writes it down, I understand. But when they speak, sometimes, like people from northern England or some parts of America, I don't know if you have been, or like Texas, people from Texas, they speak very different things. Like you are a lecturer in English, you are very good. So you feel the same sometimes about English, about some native English speakers, especially from different parts. Like Australia sounds to me very easy. I understand them very easily, but Northern England, it's very difficult. Some parts of America, very difficult.
Yeah, I'm 100%. I agree with you completely because sometimes it's just such a struggle to understand these people. And we, you know, at the university we had different courses. When I was a student, we had different courses on different dialects of English and pronunciation and cultural aspects and vocabulary, and we had to learn these. But even though we did, I had to interact with someone who spoke I wouldn't call it a dialect, the variation of Cockney English, which is basically Northern Londoners. And I couldn't understand the thing. Like it was crazy. They'd use different words to refer to different notions, and basically they speak so fast. And I know I just asked him to please slow down because I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
The same goes to Irish. It's so difficult as well to understand. As a matter of fact, that was also another question complementary to what Aaron was saying. Like, do you prefer British or American accents then?
Oh, I don't know. I can't say whether I prefer I don't know. Both are amazing, and I would much like to be able to speak like a native, and I will never be able to. There's one accent that I really don't like, which is the very Southern American accent, when they just don't pronounce certain words and then they completely disregard the grammar, and you know, they leave so many things out, like I want to go and they say like well no, or I don't know, I can't imitate this.
No, I know
But the
what you
very
mean.
Texan Southern accent, that's not really something I like that much because it's hard to understand. Apart from that, I love every single accent, so yeah.
Because I think for us Brazilians, we are so we had a huge influence from United States, not only because of the TV series, but culturally. I think like if I would ask anybody here, everybody would say, "Oh, British." No, because
Yeah.
also even for me, like I've been studying and learning English for so many years. When I watch some TV series from the UK, I also don't understand. Like the most famous nowadays, like Games of Thrones. I think it's already for 5 years ago, but it's an example. I had to read the subtitles because I did not understand it. It's so difficult for me, like,
You
and
watch Game of Thrones.
it's just an example. I know it's already 5 years ago. I cannot come up with something that is from now, but I think it's just it's very difficult for me to understand completely English, British. But of course, when you're talking, we've had some guests from the UK here, and it's fine, because you're talking like almost one-to-one. But when you're watching TV, they're talking among themselves, and then you just cannot follow. So it was very nice that you could say, I cannot choose British or American because you're in Europe. But I think like for the Brazilians, it's very clear there's American. Anyhow,
No,
Richard is here and he's laughing. He's South African, so he has something to say about his accent, which is very different as well. Let's hear him out.
Sia Laura, Joeste, Richie Vajok.
Oh.
How are
Was
you,
that
Laura?
English? Oh,
That
you
was,
spoke Hungarian with her. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting he was married to a Hungarian. He knows Hungarian as
To
well.
Hungarian woman.
yeah, I
Oh,
was married to, for about 7 years. But my Hungarian's pathetic. I haven't spoken Hungarian for a long time. I know all the things I need to know, like the swear words and the greetings, and that's what I said to you. Joeste.
that's very Hungarian, the swear words for sure. We
My
swear a
question
lot.
is, you're quite the academic. I'm interested to know, are you an only child, and what do your parents do? Are they still alive?
Oh yeah, I'm not an only child. I have a little brother who's not that little anymore. He's 22. Um, 23 actually. Sorry, yeah, he's 23. And our parents, my father works for the Ministry of Interior in Hungary. So he goes to European Union meetings and conferences, and he's in charge of some IT systems because he's an IT engineer. And my mother works she works as a nurse at the psychiatric clinic, and she takes care of patients there basically.
Thank you for that.
All
Or should
right.
I say Kusanem?
Köszönöm.
Yeah.
Means thank you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's something that
Yeah.
I learned on 1 week stay in Budapest.
You see, it's not that hard.
It is. Oh my goodness. Okay, Carlos. Carlos has a question.
Oh, hello again. We have more 10 minutes, I guess. It's 1 hour for our conversation. But tell us, please, Laura, about the music in Hungary. Classical, poppy, or what do you listen in your radio or in your streaming from Hungary?
I think we listen to everything, and the Hungarian music industry is in a little bit of a trouble because the younger generation, like Gen Z, and basically almost everyone, we listen to pop music from the United States or different kind of English language-based music groups rather than Hungarian music. So I don't know. We don't really listen to Hungarian music that much. My parents do, actually, and my grandparents too, but us not really. We are quite immersed in the English or American culture of music. We do have a few singers, but they are not that famous because it's a smaller country, so we don't really have international celebrities here. And the younger generation navigates towards the worldwide music industry.
Okay, thank you.
I think this was a very good question, Carlos, because this happens in many countries in Europe, especially the small ones, like here in Belgium, in the Netherlands. Maybe Marianne is going to tell us a little bit about that as well. We don't have that many locals, like my children, for instance. They are learning English quite fast because everything's in English for them. Okay, they just go to school where they have their friends who speak Dutch. But for the rest, like TV, music, if they go to the movies, everything's English. So they don't put subtitles, they just listen and then they learn very fast. It's amazing how fast it goes nowadays. But how about the young people in Hungary? Because where I was staying in a hotel, it was not like in the heart of Budapest or Pest. It was not that close. So we had to take the bus 10 minutes. And as soon as we leave the downtown area, nobody speaks English anymore. It's just Hungarian. And some of them, they would tell us, oh, no English, maybe German. I was just like, no German. So it was very difficult to communicate with them because they just spoke Hungarian. Do you think like the young population is getting faster there, let's say it? Because the older one,
The older people don't speak English. It's not, they had to learn Russian as a foreign language because of the Russians invading Hungary and, all this stuff, this Soviet era in Hungary that we had. So Russian was the preferred language, and then they learned it and then they forgot about it. And yeah, they were not, it wasn't a necessity for them to learn any kind of a foreign language anyways. And then now they are very close-minded and they just don't really want to indulge in it anymore. The younger generation, in my opinion, they do speak English, most of them, but not on a very high level because the education system is quite flawed in Hungary nowadays, unfortunately. And so everybody just learns from watching series, as you've mentioned before, listening to music, watching TikTok videos, as shameful it is. And because of that, they don't have that deep of an understanding of how the language works. And so they just try to pick some things up while listening to these authentic materials. And because of this, they are quite shy. So even let's say that they understand what you're saying and they could help you, but because they have this foreign language anxiety, they just don't really want to speak the language because they are aware of the mistakes that they will make if they do so. So that is a big problem here. But most of them actually speaks English, or at least they should.
Yes, it's clear. Thank you. All right, Mariana.
So like you were saying, here in Portugal, it's very frowned upon to be young and not know English. So imagine you're my age, you're 17 and you don't know English. It's kind of like, what were you doing all those years in school? What have you been doing? So it's kind of frowned upon. But also, I have a question. You talked about your brother, younger brother. How did you two get along when you were younger?
Oh, we were very close growing up. We were really, really close. There's around 3 years of age difference between us, which I think was perfect. We played together, we learned together, we talked about everything up until we were, in our late teenage years, when always inevitably happens that you just kind of drift away and you just, it happens usually with siblings, but we really loved each other. Maybe still do love each other, of course, but you know what I mean is that we had a close bond back then. Yeah. He's awesome. He's an IT engineer
I was
too.
asking because I have two younger brothers, and right now I'm very close to the youngest one. He's 10 years older than I am. Well, younger than I am.
Yeah.
And we've been getting along better. But now my preteen brother, that's something else.
Yeah. It
Very
happens all the
very
time.
difficult.
They just push you away for some reason after a while.
What should I do?
and
I'm very lost. What should I do?
I wish I could tell you, but it happened to me as well. And I know he got his first girlfriend, and then everything was about the girlfriend, and
Oh, yeah.
it
I'm waiting for that
happens.
one.
Boys will be boys, and let's just hope that as time goes by, you can get close again. But give him some space, because if not, he's just going to get annoyed. This is
Okay,
what
thank
happened with
you.
my brother. I tried to force this bond again, but it wasn't gonna happen,
I'll
unfortunately.
give him his space. I will, but I will, grab him by the ear if I need to.
Older
Thank you.
sisters.
Of course, always.
Okay, girls. Oh, cool. All
Thank you,
right, so
Mom.
Shirley here, she's gonna have the last question, I guess. And it's her first time. I was wondering if she was gonna ask a question, but here she is.
Okay. Why did you choose English to learn and to teach?
Well, I chose it, but I had to learn English from first grade. So I was 6, and it was mandatory. And then I just fell in love with the language, and I realized that I had so much access to different books, music, and people if I could speak English. And so I wanted that. I wanted to learn more, know more about different cultural aspects. I wanted to read fan fictions. I want, all of these things were in English. YouTube, the biggest YouTubers like PewDiePie and stuff. And so I invested more and more time into learning English, and I got better and better. And then it gave me confidence, and I realized that, oh my God, it's awesome. I love speaking in English. And I've always known that I wanted to become a teacher. Like, I was 9 when I decided. So, this is an ongoing process. It's more like a vocation to me rather than a profession. And so I decided that naturally I'm good at English, let's say. I mean, of course, I'm not a native, never will be, but I thought that based on Hungarian criteria and the CFR, I was okay. Then I can choose this as my major. And then I started teaching like one-on-one sessions as tutoring, and then it went well. And so it just gave me more and more motivation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So Laura, if I understand you correctly, you never had another job.
No, I've always been, well, I had students' jobs, but I was working in an office for a few months as an administrator. In Hungary, you can have something called students' jobs through a student organization, and this is very, very badly paid. But students do this when they're pursuing their university degrees. So I did have jobs while I was at university, but then I started teaching right away.
Yes, because especially nowadays, you see everybody change jobs and they go 2 years for this and then they do 5 years. But it seems like, as you said, you have that's your vocation, you're just gonna go the rest of your life doing that. But maybe you can choose, you can change the university maybe, but most probably you're just gonna be doing that, right? Do you think, the last question is, do you think you will stick to English, or you're going to be able to teach Hungarian as well?
Well, my qualification as a Hungarian English teacher is a bit different because I teach English as a foreign language, but Hungarian is teaching Hungarian students Hungarian grammar and literature, like as if you want to an English lesson in England. So it's about literature and grammar. So to be able to teach Hungarian as a foreign language, you need another diploma. And I don't think I'm going to do that, at least not right now, because I have a lot on my plate with the PhD stuff. And honestly, I prefer English. I did teach Hungarian for a year as literature and grammar, and I much preferred English to it. It was just more fun for me. For some reason, I prefer teaching the foreign language.
Yes, I think like for all of us, we are students here, and we did feel as students today, because the way you talk, it just give us a good feeling. How can I'm trying to find the right words, because now I'm the one who got nervous because of you, like your English, like the way you do it, which was so amazing. It was really nice. And I think we would be able to just keep going for one more hour. But you know, like for them in Turkey, it's midnight already, so I'm not gonna keep it long. But anyhow, Laura, it was really a very nice session. I'd like to thank you, and I really hope to see you again. It was really nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me, really. It was
I
amazing.
really hope you had a good time. And for all of you guys who are here, thank you so much. Next Saturday, we're going to go back to the America because there's a special speaker from the United States. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Thank you
guys.
all.
Hello,
Take
bye-bye.
care.